We also don't have to interrogate the lens with which we view social reality. What do I mean by that? I mean by that we all have a lens. Every one of us has a lens, and our lenses with which we see social reality and observe that reality and come to understand that reality, those lenses are forged in the fires of inequality and injustice. So we think what we're seeing is pure and clear, but in fact it's often tainted. 2 summers ago, when now Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor, then Judge Sonia Sotomayor, was appearing before the U.S. Senate Judiciary Committee for her confirmation hearings to the Supreme Court, there was this moment that really encapsulates what I'm trying to get at with this notion of the white lens and how we don't realize that we have one. So here's Justice Sotomayor, then Judge Sotomayor, and she's being grilled by these white men on the Judiciary Committee. Now, it just so happens that Judge Sotomayor had made a statement about a year and a half, 2 years before that got her a little bit of hot water. It was actually very innocuous, I think, but some people made a big deal out of it. She basically was speaking to a group of students, law students, and she made the point that she hoped, being a judge now at the time as she was, she hoped that as a wise Latina, right, which is what she is, as a wise Latina, that background, that identity, her experience as a Latina would help inform her judgment in a positive way, in a way that would help to do fairness, particularly in cases involving discrimination, because it would give her some insight into what that was about. And a lot of people just sort of lost their mind about that. My goodness, how can you say you're going to look at the law as a Latina? Why in the world? Why would you do that? Why must you bring your ethnicity? Why must you bring your gender, in this case, as a Latina? Why must you bring your identity status to the observation of the law? The law is a neutral, objective thing. Why can't you look at it objectively and neutrally like we do? Never at any point noticing the irony of that objection. At this idea that white people don't have a lens, that men don't have a lens, and that white men in particular do not have a lens, or in this case, rich white men, because they all got money too. But that doesn't affect us. No, it's just you brown people that have a lens, and if you could just put down your lens and put on your non-lens like we have, everything would be fine, you see. What's really interesting about that exchange in the Judiciary Committee is that, in fact, there's a whole body of research on this subject. And what that research says is that those individuals who are willing to own their lens and acknowledge it and claim it and recognize that it's there and realize that it's there shaping their perceptions, that those are the very people who are in the best position to interrupt the inappropriate use of that lens in a way that would do injustice to someone else. So in fact, what Justice Sotomayor was saying by admitting her lens, she's actually the least likely person to therefore use that lens in a discriminatory way precisely because she sees it. It's those who deny they have one who, because they are not consciously aware of their lens, are manipulated subconsciously by it and do injustice even if it isn't their intent to do so. So she was actually saying something which puts her in a very positive space in terms of what the psychological research literature says. And the folks on the Judiciary Committee, by denying, in effect, that they have a lens at all that shapes them, were clearly indicating the likelihood that they would continue to make the same and often discriminatory mistakes that have been the hallmark of the white Western world.